and welcome back to Unhinged but Healthy. How are we all? Are we good? Good. I'm good. I'm okay. I'm just like sailing through. But no, in all seriousness, I'm okay. Not that anyone asked, but today we are going to be talking about the unhealthy side of control. And before we get into this, I'm gonna say the usual. So if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe, comment if it's nice, and if you are listening, I would be very grateful if you could follow and rate the show, and my socials will be left in the box below. So yeah, today we are talking the unhealthy side of control, and I have a plan for the first time in forever. But yes, so let's get straight into it. So basically, I've noticed when an aspect of my life goes beyond my control or doesn't meet the expectations I had of it, I start trying to control other aspects of my life. So in this scenario, it would be something didn't work out for me, and so I usually go to gain control over another area of my life, and for me that control is usually over my body image and my food. And I get really obsessive about it, and I get really picky about my body, and at the moment I am like obsessing over the fact that maybe I've gained weight, lost tone, like yeah, and I'm just like, it's really getting to me. And I've been reading this book, I mentioned it in the last episode, called The Untethered Soul. Honestly, I would pay all the money in the world to read that book for the first time again. It has changed my life, has actually changed my life. And I'm trying to apply it to this, and I'm not sure if I've done that in this episode today. I don't think I have. But yeah, if body image and calories and food are all very sensitive areas for me. I used to have an eating disorder. I am terrified of gaining weight, of being fat, as if that's the worst thing you could ever be. I am terrified of these things due to things that happened in my childhood, the ways I looked in my childhood, the comments that were made throughout my childhood about that, and therefore I've gained a control over how I should look and maintaining that. And I feel like sometimes you cross a line from discipline and just complete control and being miserable, and I feel like sometimes I do cross that line, and I'm at a place at the moment where I don't know what's best, because I feel good when I'm counting my calories and I know I'm getting my protein in, and I'm working out every day, and I can control how my body looks, and I like to be small, and but then it gets to a point of like, is this healthy? Because if this changed, I'm not going to look this way forever. I need to be comfortable with not having a meltdown when I've unexpectedly gone out for food, or when I've had a pumpkin spice latte and I don't know how many calories is in the syrup, and it just all gets a bit much. It all gets a bit much, and I don't want that for myself anymore. Yes, I like to look a certain way, and yes, I start to feel a bit insecure when my stomach isn't completely flat and toned, and it's really difficult for me, and I can't tell if it's all in my head, but at the moment I don't feel like I look like that, and it's really difficult for me. And it's just hard because I redirect, because I've lost control over one situation I redirect control to this one situation. And not only is this probably bad for my body because of the yo-yo in calories and stuff, like that's not good for my hormones, you know? And it's just like, I'm happy as long as I'm eating in a calorie deficit and as long as I'm working out every day. And again, yes, it's great to be disciplined, but sometimes I just feel like it's an area of control and I become miserable unless I'm doing this, and I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I maybe need to prove myself that why did I do that so hard? I nearly winded myself, if you're listening. Yeah, like I feel like I need to prove to myself now that I can trust my body to eat what I want within reason and still look a certain way. Like, I don't know, I just need to focus on the types of food I am eating, and it's proving really difficult. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm feeling a lot of resistance. My heart is very heavy, like I'm very anxious, like it's really, really difficult, and I do feel like it's taking over my life at the moment. And part of me is like, it would just be so easy to revert back to eating a small amount of calories every day, knowing that that will get me where I want. But then what happens when I start to get hungry because that's not enough food anymore? And like, you know, like yeah, it's just very like, it's a lot. And I feel like the only thing that's going to help me is time, and I'm just terrified. I lay there in bed at night literally crying, sorry, at the thought of gaining weight, and that is not right, you know? And I need to try and prove to myself that that's either not going to happen or maybe it will happen, and that's okay, you know? And it's absolutely terrifying, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, so that is the aspect of my life that I have now turned my control to, because I have lost control over another aspect of my life, you know? So I do this because there has been a change in another area of my life that I didn't expect or didn't want to happen, and I have said that earlier. So this is my way then of taking control back over my life, and it's a way for me to feel good, because instead of focusing on that situation where I've lost the control, I can now move my focus to this situation where I do have the control, and that makes me feel better, and that makes me feel like everything is okay again. And this is my subconscious way of coping. I read that so wrong, this is why I don't like notes. So my subconscious way of coping with this is trying to focus on what I am able to control, and I really zoom in on it. So I have literally been like obsessively like body checking, like I've been obsessively like thinking about the things I've eaten in the day, like if I've gone out for lunch with my friends or my family, like if I get hungry later, like what is something like that I could eat that's not, like hopefully not going to push my calories out, or like I will just constantly think about the food I'm eating and like my body, and like, and it's just not fun because it's sucking the life out of the things I'm supposed to be enjoying. And then I feel like people don't enjoy being around me because I am just a shell of myself sat across the table, because all I can think about is, am I going to gain weight? Because this is the third time I've gone out for lunch this week, you know? But then I also don't want to say no, because then like what, people won't want to spend time with me because I'm saying no, like, do you know? And it's just like, yeah, it's getting really difficult and I want to change this. In my case, yeah, this is usually my body image and relationship with food. This happens so that I still feel like I have a sense of control over my life and its outcomes. So we don't have control over life. we don't have control over outcomes. Things happen in life that we will never be able to control, and we kind of feel this resistance towards it. And I feel like to ignore this resistance, we point the focus elsewhere, and then that's where energy flows instead, until that comes back into our minds at some point if we've been pushing it down, so yeah, does that make sense? I feel like I'm just saying the same thing over and over again. But yeah, so we don't actually have any control, and I feel like when something goes wrong, and this is what I've learned from the Untethered Soul, like, you start to feel tension wherever that may be. It could be your throat, it could be your heart, like it could be anywhere, and we start to feel this tightness, and like I can feel it talking about this now. And what that is a buildup of energy, and it's getting stuck. So we are then kind of like blocking the energy from flowing through, like positive energy and like things like that. And then eventually, like, we're like clinging on to this energy, like we don't want to let it go, like we can't process this piece of information. So we then store that. So that is stored within you, and anytime anything comes up that could trigger that thing that you've not been able to process, so whether that be a breakup, whether that be your relationship with food and body image, like that's going to come up, and you're going to start to feel that resistance and that heaviness again wherever that may be, so instead of just feeling it and holding on to it and pushing it back down, you need to just take a deep breath, relax, literally just relax, like literally just like, and like just let it pass through, literally just let it pass through, and like it's not easy, like the initial situation, that went wrong, I suppose you could say, that initial situation, like it wasn't that deep for me, so when those waves of like resistance would come up and like hurt would come up, like I could easily just process that. But now I've kind of like shifted my consciousness back to my body image and my food. Like this is a really deep rooted issue for me, like I feel this a lot, so it's a lot more difficult, and I just have to keep doing it. I keep having to take the breath, relax it, doing it right now. And it's hard and it's not nice, and like it has been literally draining, but like I don't want this energy like stored in me anymore. But yeah, so basically what I'm trying to say here is I've switched my focus to this because this is something I feel I have control over, when in reality, like that's not really healthy. And it could be anything, like some people, like when they go through a breakup or whatever, anything, I'm just using a breakup as an example, they turn to work because that's where they have their control and that's where they likely know the outcomes, so it's like I could turn to this now and I could cut my calories again and I could become smaller again and look how I think I want to look, and it's still never going to be good enough, like I could do that and I could know that I know that would be the outcome, and it would make me feel like I have control, but really I'm just avoiding something else, if that makes sense. So when things happen, we just need to accept it. We need to accept it. We need to feel that resistance and we need to release it and we need to relax and just let that energy pass through, because we don't have control over anything. We don't own our lives, like whatever you believe in, if you don't believe in anything, but we do not, we cannot control what happens in life. So we need to stop trying to control it as if we do, This can become incredibly unhealthy, as I just said. So, like you could become like obsessed with work, you could become obsessed with moving your body to a point where you are burning yourself out. You could become obsessed with your food and what you were eating. You could become obsessed with your social life, you know, to the point where like you're not having any alone time and you're just completely avoiding everything. Like it can become unhealthy when you get rid of balance, if that makes sense. So I have previously become so trapped in my own thoughts about my body and how disgusting I feel it looks in that moment, that I ruin events for myself, or I won't leave the house. And like, I will admit, like, I have gotten better with this, but this still does happen. Like, I have had days recently where, and I am on my period, so last week I was in my luteal phase, and this week I am on my period, so whether this has something to do with it, I don't know, it possibly could. But yeah, so I have had days recently where I've thought, like, I look so puffy, like, I don't want to leave the house, I don't want to wear any of my nice clothes, like, but I've been forcing myself to, and I have been conscious about like my lower stomach, and like, you know, like I went for a walk yesterday and like people were like looking at me, or at least I thought people were looking at me, and I was like, they are like, people stopped to talk to me that I knew, and like they were like looking at me and like looking at my outfit, and I was just like, they're staring at my stomach. I was like, they're literally like staring at my stomach, like I'm so uncomfortable right now, like, you know. And I was just like, no, they like your outfit, or they think you look great, you know. Like it's really hard, like it's really difficult, because, you know, this time last year I would have not wanted to leave the house, and I would not have left the house, and if I had left the house, I would have left the house in the baggiest clothes known to man, because that's what I would have felt comfortable in, and I wouldn't have been able to look at myself in anything else. So that in itself is growth. And yeah, it's really hard, because when you get trapped in these thoughts then of like feeling like you look disgusting, or feeling like you need to get something done, or like, you know, feeling like you need to be somewhere, or you just can't be by yourself, like just trapped in these awful thoughts, like it's really hard, like it's really, really difficult, you know. And this is when it starts to kind of become an obsession with control, if that makes sense. Like, I can't control what other people think my body looks like. I can't control what other people are thinking about me in general. Like, there's a lot of things that I can't control, and I just need to let that go, you know. Like, so what? It's literally like, it's not the worst thing. Like, it's hard because on one hand I'm like, I want to be this baddie, like I want to be like in the gym 6 days a week, only eat salads, like I want to show everyone that has like ever like fucked me off, like that I am that girl, and like I have a teeny tiny waist, and like I'm snatched, and I'm always going to be snatched, you know. Like, on one hand, like there's that, and then on the other hand it's like, but I'm not enjoying life anymore because I'm eating a piece of cake and thinking like, I hate myself for this, like I don't want that, because that's something I used to enjoy, you know. And it's really hard to know whether it's all in your head anymore. I don't want the joy. I love food, I love it, but I also love looking a certain way, and I know I need to be balanced, but it's really hard. It's so hard, so super hard. Yeah, I love being a girl. I really wanted to say something. Yeah, and I don't know if it's all in my head. And then on the other hand, like, yeah, I just want to have like a healthy, balanced lifestyle. Like, I don't want to restrict, but I also don't want to lose control. And it's like, do I be disciplined like everyone on TikTok is telling me, or like, is this how everyone lives? Like, I don't know, like, do I get a coach again? Like, and it's just all these like obsessive thoughts, and like these days I'm just trying to be like, I'm not engaging, and it's so hard to know whether I'm doing a healthy thing by trying to push myself to do this and feel comfortable, not counting my calories and like not counting my protein and like still meal planning every week because that's just what works for me, but like not paying attention to those calories and not having that control over my diet and just being able to trust myself without everything planned to a T, like to make the right decisions that are healthy for me, that feel good for me, instead of having an internal meltdown whenever my friend says, do you want to go for food, like do you want to go, like, you know, and like without having a meltdown that I'm having a coffee with syrup in it instead of without, you know, like there's only pumpkin spice lattes for 1 month of the year, just let me enjoy it, literally just let me enjoy it, do you know what I mean, just let me enjoy it. You know, like yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah, so it's really hard to know whether I'm letting myself go and I'm like, yeah, just letting myself go and letting that discipline go, or whether I'm doing a good thing by learning to trust myself and like eating intuitively and like letting my body just have what it wants. I don't know. So yeah, when these thoughts come up, I just kind of say to myself, like, I'm not engaging in this. Like, if my friend wouldn't say this to me, why am I saying it to myself, you know? I become engulfed in negative thoughts about my body and how I want it to look, and I get obsessed with meal plans. So kind of like what I just said. So this again is like so unhealthy, like, and yes, like it can come across as like discipline, but when you're doing it because you know, I used to think I was doing it and like, you know, like when I was in a calorie deficit and I was aiming to lose weight, like I'd be like, okay, well, I'm working towards a goal, so like this is a good thing. But now I'm not doing that anymore. Like it's just really difficult to know what to do. I only know how to eat to lose weight or to gain weight. Like I don't really know how to just eat, you know. I don't really know how to just stay balanced. Like I don't know how to do that. And the hard thing about it is like I can eat. I can eat. Like I have an appetite. Like don't ask me if I've eaten, because yes, I have. You know, and it's like I have that structure of like breakfast, snack, lunch, dinner, sweet treat, you know, and it's like I know what's good for me, like I kind of know my measurements and stuff now, but it's like I get obsessive and it's like I weigh everything out and like it's just a lot, you know, and like again, like it's that like it's discipline, hustle culture, like, but then at the same time, like it's also control and it can get really unhealthy, and I don't want my body to be stuck in a deficit calorie amount as my maintenance because I want to be that small. Like it's just, it's difficult, and I'm qualified like in personal training, like I know like these things, but still, like because it's such a deep-rooted issue for me, like that doesn't help. And yeah, it's just really hard to know like how to just eat, and it's just like in my head, because I'm just eating and not even just what I want, but like because I'm not following like a strict meal plan and like strict calories every day and like sticking to them and like only going out for food once, and like it's really difficult for me, and I'm looking at my body and I'm just like, it looks different, and I'm like, but does it? Like I don't know, like is this in my head? Like I don't know. And then I'm like, I want to trust myself and like see where this goes and like push through this discomfort, but then I'm scared if I leave it go too long that I will gain weight and I will hate the way I look and I will spiral, you know. Like it's just, it's really hard. And like it's like yesterday, like I had like a healthy breakfast, like I had a healthy lunch, like I had a healthy dinner, like all whole foods, like, and then I had a pumpkin spice latte and a piece of cake, and I was just honing in on that 20% of my day rather than the other 80%. And I was just like, because I've eaten this, now I'm going to be fat. Not because I've eaten this, I've nourished my body and I feel good. No, because I've eaten this, I'm going to be fat. Like, I'm going to gain weight because I've eaten this piece of cake and had a pumpkin spice latte. Never mind the Greek yogurt and granola and berries and the chicken and the chickpeas and the bacon chicken wrap for lunch, you know, like never mind all those good things. let's look at this part that is absolutely disgusting of me to have. I'm allowed to enjoy a sweet treat, like, come on, you know. But yeah, yeah. I restrict certain foods or my calories to the point where I no longer enjoy social occasions or simply spending time with friends if it involves food. And yeah, and it's just not nice. Like, this isn't something I want anymore. Like, I can get to a point where I'll like be happy with how I look and stuff and I can enjoy it, but then it's only short-lived, because once I start to do it too much, like, I'm like, oh my god, like, I'm huge, like, I'm literally hippo, like, and I hate that I speak to myself like that. I really do, and it's really hard. And I actually really want to read Ro Mitchell's book, how to talk to yourself, or something like that. I really want to get that book. But yeah, and it's just like, I don't want to control my life to that point. Like, I want to enjoy, and it's just so hard. And I just do feel like social media is so toxic, because it's like, it makes you feel like enjoying your life is a bad thing. And it's like, yeah, well, while they're all out doing this, and like, you know, you're in bed at 9 p.m. and everything's meal prepped, and like, yeah, good for you, but like, let the people enjoy. Like, you're literally like just making me feel bad, like. And this is the thing, like, there's two sides to everything, and I hate it, because it's like, well, it makes you feel bad because you wish you could do that, but it's like, I could do that if I wanted to do that. I just don't want to do that. Like, I just want to have a balanced life. I just want to enjoy, like, and it's just really difficult. And then like, I caught myself doing it last night. Like, I was on TikTok and I was like going onto people's pages and like seeing what they eat in a day, like people that don't count calories, and like how they look, and like, you know, like what meals they were eating. And like, I just get really obsessed with it, and it's just like, girl, stop. Like, literally just stop. Like, it's fine, like, just trust it. Like, it's fine. Like, it's really not that deep. Like, just nourish your body, make it feel good. Like, move to look after your body. Like, just stop worrying so much about how you look. Like, you're not gonna look like this forever. And yeah, it just, like, again, like, it just becomes, I make my whole life and routine about it. There is a difference between this and discipline, because I'm no longer enjoying my life. There we are. Like, this is the thing, like, yes, you can be disciplined to a point, but like, is it ruining your quality of life? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you're no longer like enjoying going out for food with your friends and stuff, like, or you can't go out for food more than once a week, or you're gonna spiral, like, that's not okay. Like, that's really not okay. And like, if you are literally like, I can't have oils, I can't have, you know, nuts, I can't have like avocado, like, I can't have fats, you know, like, that's not good. Like, those things are good for you. And I'm not like, I am still very much in that place. Like, it's very, very difficult, like, but I can promise you the alternatives aren't much better. Like, I've started using olive oil again this week. My food tastes so much better instead of that fucking like spray light. Like, that's probably so much worse for you. Like, and I look at the things that I've been eating instead, and it's just like, you look at the ingredients and it's like, you would just be so much better off eating the good things. I'm like, because I'm focusing on whole foods now, like, I'm just trying to trust the process. And it's just, yeah, again, like, it's just proven to be very difficult. But yeah, if you are no longer enjoying your life, I feel like maybe you need to look at discipline in a different way, which is what I'm trying to do now, you know, just like looking at it in a softer light. Like, you don't have to be disciplined to the point where you don't enjoy your food. Like, you don't, like, life, we have one life, just live it. Like, do you know what I mean? Just literally live it, as long as you're not harming anyone or being unhealthy, like really unhealthy, you know. I've picked up on this pattern this time, and I want to break it. So yeah, I want to break this pattern this time. Like, I did this the last time something ended with someone. Like, I literally like got obsessed with my body. I was nitpicking. Like, I was in the gym like 7 days a week. I was doing something. I was eating in a calorie deficit, like again, that's fine, like but I want to get to a point where I don't have to track my calories, you know. Yeah, so the way I would like to try and break this pattern, again, just by trusting the process, just seeing how long I can go on like this to prove to myself that like it's gonna be okay, like nothing much is gonna change, you know. I, you know, like I said earlier, like every time a feeling of resistance comes up or like a horrible thought, like one, I notice that blocked energy. I realize that I am just experiencing this feeling. I am not this feeling. Deep breath, relax. Just relax. Just let it pass. Open that heart back up, you know, and I just do that as many times as I have to for the energy to pass through. And with those negative thoughts, I'm not engaging in this. I'm not engaging in this. If my friend wouldn't speak to me like this, I'm not having that thought. I'm not engaging in this. I'm not spiraling about it. And it does help. Building trust in not counting calories. So I did just say that, trusting the process. Facing unhealthy beliefs about my body image and gaining weight. So when these thoughts come up, again, it's uncomfortable, it's upsetting for me, it's extremely upsetting for me, but I just tell myself that this is what I need to do. I need to push past this because it's a cage I have put myself in, and once I'm out of this cage, I will be so much happier. Like, I have created this problem for myself. I don't have to feel this way, and the more I push past it, the more I know it's going to be okay. Like, it doesn't mean I have to go out there and eat loads of food and put on loads of weight. I don't need to do that. I just need to be able to trust myself that I can just eat the foods that I would like to eat, and it's not going to ruin my life. It's not going to make anyone hate me. It's not going to make me look any different. And I can trust myself to look after myself without being inside this cage of I need to eat this many calories and I need to eat this type of food and I have to eat low fat and I can only go out for food once a week. You know, I can do the things that I want to do without ruining myself, you know. We don't need control of our lives. We just need trust. And it's exactly that. Like, we just need trust that everything is going to happen for us. You know, everything we want to happen is going to happen, you know, and we just need to trust that. Like, we don't need to have this massive control over our relationships. We don't need to have this massive control over our jobs and our friends' lives and you know, like our bodies. Like, we just need to trust the fact that everything we want is on its way to us, and like, just have that belief. Like, the minute you release control over everything is the minute that things are going to start working out for you, because you're not so attached to the outcome. And if you had said this to me any time up to like 2023, I would have told you, what do you mean? Like, but it's so true. Like, when you just trust the unknown and you find excitement in it rather than fear, and you stop dwelling on the things that didn't work out and start looking forward to the things that will work out because you know that they're coming, life will just move so much easier for you. And when you don't let these built up emotions like control your life, you know, everything will start feeling better and everything will start flowing because you're not so focused on the outcome. Focus on healthy things we can control instead. So the positive to this, you know, find trust and focus on healthy things you can control instead, not like hyperfixating on one thing that spirals and becomes unhealthy. So we can focus on our routines. And by this I mean like how you want your day to look. Like, what would her day look like? What would your dream girl's day look like? What would her morning look like? What would her work day look like? Or what would her free time look like? What would her evenings look like? What would she eat? What would she do? Like, how would people see her? How would she act? You know? Physical well-being, and focus on the word well-being. You know, how are you feeling? You know, how do you like to move your body? Like, have you taken care of your physical well-being today? Mindset and focus. So the thoughts that you have and where your energy goes, because where your energy goes, where your focus goes, your energy flows. I apologize. Daily habits. What do her daily habits look like? What did she do to get where she is today? Her. You are her, you know? Pick up those habits, write them down. Personal growth and skills. Reading, you know, building new skills. This is something I've been trying to do to reduce my screen time. I've been using my manifestation journal. I've been planning my podcast episodes. I've been going for long walks. I've been looking on Pinterest. I've been focusing on my work more. I've been spending time with friends. Like, I've been trying to learn new skills. I started to learn about EFT tapping last night. Character and healing, you know, focus on your character. Like, what about your character would you like to change? What aspects of yourself do you feel need healing? Like, how can you do this moving forwards? Boundaries, focus on your boundaries. You know, I have had a situation recently where I set a boundary and that boundary pushed someone away, and then I felt bad about having that boundary because I missed that person, when in reality, instead of feeling bad about having that boundary, I needed to focus on the fact that it's important to have these boundaries to avoid situations like this happening again. What are your boundaries? Write them down. Creativity. Painting, making vision boards, colouring, drawing, music, clothes, makeup, you know, anything. Priorities. What are your priorities? Write them down. Values. Write them down. And how you treat others. How would you like to treat others? Do you treat them that way currently? Write it down. Learn about yourself. Become her. You know, just focus on these things instead, and don't become hyper focused on the unhealthy things. You know, put more energy into the good things, you know. But I know it's easier said than done, but when you're doing it, you feel good. So yeah. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry if this felt heavy. This is literally sometimes my personal diary, and I am sorry. But I hope some people can relate. Well, I don't, but I hope this helps some people if you do relate. I am sending you lots of love, and I will see you soon. Bye. Love you lots. Like jelly tots. Oh, I didn't stop the recording. Oopsie. Bye.